We're going to go through all of the areas around Durango and in town Durango. And if you want to learn about that, we're getting after it right now. What's up, guys? This is Jon Burden over at Woosah Properties here in Durango, Colorado. We're a local real estate team, and if you're even thinking about moving to Durango, make sure to give us a call, text, email, days, nights, weekends. We've got your back when it comes to moving here to Durango. Now, let's get after the video. All right, so guys, I am going to walk you through the different quadrants of Durango. Now, it's not necessarily really broken into quadrants like somewhere like Albuquerque, where it's like the northeast, the southeast. But I think it's a really good way to walk you through the different areas. So I'll kind of start in town. What's incredible, and a lot of my friends live in town, and the reasons they really love it is a typical day really could just be incredible in the sense that most neighborhoods are either backed up. I shouldn't say most. A lot of neighborhoods are either backed up to some awesome mountain biking / just hiking trails in general that you can just go right out your door, maybe in 5-10 minutes be on the trail or less. And so that's really cool about in town. Let's say you're not super close to a biking trail. Maybe you're on 3rd. Honestly, even if you're off 3rd, you're still really, really close. But let's say your neighborhood isn't like backed up to trails and you're right in town. You still have the Animas River Trail, which is right there. It's about a 7.5-mile paved trail, really, really small incline and decline. Really great for walking, bringing the kids, even if they're 2, 3, 4 years old, and they're just on bikes. It's a perfect trail. It's all paved. There's a little bit of dirt on the side of it every now and then. I really love running on dirt trails, so that's why I bring that up. But that is incredible as well. So that's another huge benefit to living in town. You're right by the Animas River Trail. And town is so small that if you're right in town, pretty close to downtown, you're pretty darn close to that river trail. Like it's going through town pretty far, right? It's going kind of to the end of the south part of town and all the way up to the north part, which is ends at Oxbow. Which quick tangent here, it ends at a nice nature preserve that does another about mile loop in a dirt trail. It's really, really cool. It's right on the edge of the Animas River. And so those are some of the benefits, right? You've got a lot of biking right in town. You've got that river trail. And of course, you just have the accessibility to downtown, right? You want to go grab some great food. You want to go grab something to eat, do some shopping with some friends, or just meet a friend downtown for coffee, whatever it might be. Go to church, bring your kids to school, bring your kids to any of the awesome stuff that they have to do, the extracurricular activities they have to do out there in town, which of course most stuff is going to be in town. You're all right there. And so that's a reason I do see clients moving from out of town to in town is their kids get a little bit older. They're doing a lot of activities in town. There's a community center, the rec center with the awesome pool, the gym, the basketball courts. There's a track that goes around the basketball courts. It's about 130 yards or so. So there's so much to do in town. And so that's a big, big reason why a lot of people love to live in town. Now, getting out of town a little bit, we're going to move north right now. And just, again, this video is just kind of a general overview. If you guys want to get a lot more detailed, I have vlogs about each area individually. And I'm going into each of the kind of major or a little bigger neighborhoods. Like, for example, in town Durango, I get into the Brokerage subdivision. That one does back up to some awesome trails. And so we get more in depth on the particulars of each of these areas in different videos. So feel free to check those out as well. But now we'll get north. So as you get north, in my opinion, now maybe I'm a little biased here because I do live north of town in kind of the Hermosa area. But as you get north, you're in this gorgeous valley with these red cliffs on the east side of you as you're driving that way. It's also really green, lots of cottonwoods, lots of big trees, and just really green. But you've got these cliffs on both sides of you. That's why it's called the Animas Valley, and the river's running right through. So it's just stunning. As you get, let's say 5 miles down the road from in town, you get to Dalton Ranch. They've got an incredible world-renowned golf course and housing community that's kind of centered around that golf course. And they've got the river running right through that subdivision. It's stunning. There's other neighborhoods like the ranch that has private ponds, that's got some awesome fishing. They've got a nature preserve that leads to the river. There's just some really incredible neighborhoods. Then there's homes off of 250, County Road 250. That's kind of on the east side of the valley. And that area is just stunning. There's incredible homes there. A lot of these homes have 1 acre or more. Actually, a lot of them are over 1 acre, closer to 5 to 10 acres in that area. And then you switch to the other side against the other kind of rock wall, if you will, cliff sides. And that is County Road 203, which leads up to County Road 201, where there's some incredible biking up there as well. There's a 30+ mile biking trail called Hermosa Creek. It's awesome. I was out there biking a couple weeks ago. Awesome to run as well. Little bit of a tangent as far as running. That trail is one of the more moderate trails, not as crazy steep inclines and declines. So that's another benefit to living in the valley. It's just a lot flatter than most areas. Again, it's a valley, so it's fairly flat. I love running in this area. You've got County Road 203, you've got County Road 250 as far as running and biking. Another thing, I just think this area, generally speaking, whatever house you buy here, you're going to have pretty incredible views of those cliffs. You're going to have a lot of greenery around you, just compared to going south or even east. It's just a lot more like cottonwoods, a lot more grass, a lot more just greenery in general. Granted, the con, if you will, is you've got these kind of major, shouldn't say major roads, but Highway 550 running right through the middle. And then you've got 203, County Road 203, and County Road 250. So there's these 3 roads running through the valley. So you're definitely not going to get away from noise at all. You're not going to be able to hear a pin drop when you're outside type of thing. Like you're going to hear some traffic at some point. But I think generally it's pretty minor. Like this isn't I-25 if you're in New Mexico, or this isn't a major highway going through. There definitely is a little more traffic going through here as you hit the summer. You'll hear more motorcycles and that kind of thing, but it's pretty mild. Like I live in this area and it's not bad at all. I personally still love it. Like that doesn't affect me. And so just love really hitting on that north area because I have a passion for it. I really love this area. Another big pro to the north area is you are closer to the skiing. You're closer to Purgatory. It's about 20-25 minutes away from kind of Hermosa area, which is where like Dalton Ranch is, the ranch, some of those subdivisions towards the north end of kind of the north area of town. And then you've also got a bunch of awesome lakes. So you've got Haviland Lake, Electra, you've got some awesome hiking like Elbert Creek, which is really cool. You guys should look that up if you aren't familiar with Elbert Creek Trail. That one's awesome. So now let's jump over to the east. So the east is, you'll see a lot more pine trees in the east. And I'm going to jump to a pro and a con. If you really love the winter and you want snow, you'll get more snow in the east as you go up towards Edgemont and you keep going up the road like Florida River Estates, which that place is incredible, by the way. They have some ponds and the river runs right through that subdivision. And then you've got Edgemont Highlands, Edgemont Ranch, Edgemont Meadows. They have private access to the Florida River, about a mile stretch. And then you can run along that trail as well. It is really, really cool. There are some incredible, just different, unique subdivisions. And again, just keep in mind, you're getting up above the 7,000 foot elevation range. You're like 72, 73, and then it keeps climbing. I would also say the areas around, such as Edgemont Meadows, Edgemont Ranch, the subdivisions just in that general vicinity are really coveted. I just had some clients offer, I'll just say, quite a bit more than asking price on a property that they really, really wanted to be in because they love that area. They moved from Edgemont Ranch to a subdivision that was literally like, 400 yards down the road, quarter of a mile down the road from that subdivision. And so people really love this area. It's about 10 minutes from downtown Durango. These subdivisions have quite a few homes in it, so you'll definitely see 2, 3, 4 homes at a time be on the market in that subdivision. Obviously, that's dependent, but there's a good amount of homes in these subdivisions. There's great hiking. There's a good amount of little hiking trails that go throughout the subdivision. So it's really, really well done. Wood chip trails. And so, again, I love this subdivision because my parents actually live in this subdivision and they love it as well. Close to town, but the other positive to just living in this area at all, kind of the east side of Durango, is you're closer to Lemon Reservoir and Vallecito Lake. You're a lot closer to those, and those are really, really cool. Those areas are just awesome. There's a lot of people that have vacation homes on those lakes or in the area of those lakes. And I speak to them all the time, and they're just like, we're never selling. We love these homes. Now, granted, there are homes that come on the market over there, but you'll see a lot of great vacation rentals. So another little hack while I'm talking about this area is a way to kind of see what it's like in some of those areas is go on Airbnb and look at some of those homes in that area on Airbnb because they do great photos. And of course, they'll do a lot more photos of the area as well. So of course, we'll show you a lot of what it's like in these areas, but that's another way if you're kind of looking at what's this exact area look like or this exact road, you can kind of dial in with Airbnb as well. The next area that I want to jump to is kind of living south of Durango. Now, there's a few different areas. Now, you could be just kind of right off Highway 550. Now, keep in mind, whenever you're looking south or just in general, anywhere, you want to be aware that 550 is going to have a decent amount of traffic because that's bringing you from New Mexico up to Durango. A ton of people that do that commute, ourselves included. We have family down in Albuquerque area. And so there's quite a few subdivisions that are right off the highway. So you want to just be aware of that. If there's a subdivision you guys really like, that's why you got to reach out to us. Let us know you're interested in a certain subdivision. We're happy to go out there and tell you, yeah, I could hear a little bit of traffic, or we could hear a lot of traffic, or just give you a feel for the traffic from those subdivisions. Because we've definitely been in just about all of them and have a really good sense of that as well. So as you're going, that's kind of your con, if you will. If you don't care about traffic, then great. A lot of the subdivisions as you're going south, they're just going to be a lot more flat. There's not much rolling hills, if you will. There's a little, like a subdivision called Mesa Linda. There are some rolling hills there. I was even considering a property in that subdivision because I love running and I love the fact that there was a nice hill that you could run up. And as you go up, you get some great views. So what's cool about going south is you're going to get some incredible views, especially properties off like County Road 301, 302. These county roads that are still close to Highway 550 that grab those awesome views of the mountains across the way from them. So west of the county road section, like the County Road 300s, but you can maybe kind of hear a tiny bit of traffic just depending on what area you're in, but not a ton, not much at all. So you're getting those incredible views, but you're not hearing much traffic. It is a lot more flat. So if you do want flat land, maybe you want to grow crops, maybe you want to, some horses, you want, there's a lot more horses in this area, like the county, the south, it's kind of southeast area of Durango. And then the other big pro is there's a lot of properties that are on the Animas River. These are, of course, higher price points. Once you're getting on the river, you're getting fishing. Feel free to reach out. I've got a friend that I can always refer you to, and he does a lot of fly fishing on the river south of Durango. So he has a really good feel of, this spot is really good fishing. This spot isn't as good fishing. He can kind of give you a feel. So I have some good connections kind of in the fly fishing world as well. But those are some of the pros and cons of living south. Keep in mind, it is going to be a little further drive to town, depending on where you're at, of course. But if you keep getting closer to the border. And the other one thing, just the obvious thing to me, but maybe not to you, is to be aware that it just gets a lot drier. As you get south of town, elevation goes down a little bit, and it just gets a lot drier. If you're familiar with New Mexico, it feels a lot more like New Mexico, kind of a lot more dirt, a lot less green, a lot drier, a lot flatter. But the big difference is you still get some great views. You get this kind of big, breathtaking views around you, depending on where you're at. So then let's jump west. West has some new subdivisions. So you're kind of going through this little mountain range, little hill area. As you're going west, there's some really cool subdivisions. One's Shenandoah. They have some little bigger acreage properties and really cool area. You're still only 12 minutes from town or so. There's some bigger lots, bigger houses, just really green, kind of pasture type lots. And then some lots as they get up higher in those hills in the subdivision, just a little more forested type lots. And then as you keep going up the road, now this is County Road 141 that I'm referring to. Again, if you go to the vlog that I did on that area, you will see a lot more details of that subdivision and other ones. There's some two subdivisions called Durango West 1 and 2. It's a really popular subdivision. Again, they also have some great trails going through that subdivision, which I think are awesome. Some really cool little running / biking trails going through there. They've got a nice playground. They've got tennis courts. They've got basketball courts. Just really, really awesome. Really friendly for everyone, if you will. And then they've got Twin Buttes. Twin Buttes is a awesome biking trail system, and it's also a kind of up and coming, if you will, neighborhood subdivision. And so again, they're only, I want to say roughly 11, 12 minutes from downtown Durango. So we've got some really cool subdivisions up there. You've got some bigger acreage properties as well. And the west area is, again, just obviously depending on which subdivision, you're going to be potentially further away from town. It definitely gets more dry out that way. But the other big benefit is you're closer to Lake Nighthorse. Lake Nighthorse is incredible. A lot of other videos I talk about it, pros and cons videos. A lot of other videos I talk about Lake Nighthorse. It's one of my favorite places to swim, paddleboard, kayak, fish. The fish in there are massive. I've caught on to fish in there that are huge. They would be towing me around the lake. I kid you not, these massive browns. So it's a really cool area as far as having that access to Lake Nighthorse. It gets a little drier out there, but there's just some really unique subdivisions in there as well. Twin Buttes also has a pond they just put in. And so they've got some other cool amenities. They've got a garden in that area, like a big garden. So there's some really cool things about that area. And the last area is the kind of mountain area up by Purgatory. There are some stunning, really, really cool subdivisions. Maybe I say that word too much, but it's true. Once you guys see some of these subdivisions, you'll agree with me. There's a subdivision called Lake Purgatory. They have a lake where just homes surround the lake, and you kind of go up into the hills, into the mountains kind of. You're kind of on the edge of cliffs sometimes. The homes, there's one home, I just talked to an owner the other day. His home looks right over the Pine River. I could be wrong. I don't think it's the Pine River. But looks over a river. I think it's like a creek that's going into the lake, and it's just incredible. So they've got a lot bigger size homes in there. A lot of these homes are vacation properties or second homes for people. But you can still find homes that are, pretty affordable, pretty well priced in this area. They just really range in size, I guess is what I wanted to say. You get homes that are right around Twilight Lake, which is a lake right across the street from Purgatory. I mean, just stunning. They stock that lake. You're right there to go skiing. And then there's a trail right down from Twilight Lake that goes all the way down to the Animas River Trail, goes into the Waimanouche Wilderness. And so there's some really, really cool subdivisions that are just very exclusive, if you will, a lot of gated subdivisions. A lot of these subdivisions have incredible hiking trails, access to national forest. One of them has access to Electra Lake, or has homes right on Electra Lake. There's Lakewood Estates that's right kind of bordering on Electra Lake. Some of these are on dirt roads. So just to kind of jump into the cons, some of these are on dirt roads. Some of these are, most, if not all, are going to be, I should say pretty much all, are going to be snowplowed. but you want to really look into that. So we're at a lot higher elevation now. We just jumped up to like 8,700 feet, kind of in that range. So you really want to be aware in the winter, these are getting tons and tons of snow. So that's something to really be cautious of this kind of mountain area. By the way, guys, if you're even thinking about moving to Durango, Colorado, make sure to give us a call, text, email, days, nights, weekends. We are licensed realtors here in Durango and got your back when it comes to moving to Durango. Thanks for watching, guys.